Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hope you had a nice evening. This broadcast is for demonstration educational purposes only. If you're not familiar with the risks associated with trading, please consult with a licensed financial advisor because I'm not one of them. There is a significant amount of risk when trading the financial instruments. You could lose your entire trading account. All right. Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a nice evening. Let's take a look. If today is your first day joining us, my name's Rory Powers. I want to wish you a good morning. It is Thursday, April 10th. Man, what a roller coaster ride we're on with these tariffs. What a roller coaster ride. These are, I'm going to be showcasing today the AI Auto Trader and the iBots. These are powerful strategies, automated strategies. And once they're enabled, they will execute and manage the trades for you. They run in NinjaTrader 8. Isn't that nice? They execute, they do all the heavy lifting for you automatically. Execute and manage your trades. We've got a really diversified portfolio of strategies. We're going to be trading today the futures index equities, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, our go-to strategies. We have YM on a one-day pass, a prop trading template running in the background, and we've also diversified into crude oil and gold. And we let the strategies run pre-market. This way, around 9:30, we have a leaderboard, and we can see which bots are performing the best in the current trading environment. And that's what you see right here is my leaderboard. And the ES30 range on the one-day pass, which is our prop trading template, scored today, would have passed the evaluation in one trade. Our star drone continues its winning ways. It's up 1787. It's in this trade that you see up in the top left. We have a template for PA accounts. PA accounts are live accounts that if you don't want to risk, if you have a smaller account or your risk tolerance is a little bit lower, you want to trade micros in this environment, which is extremely volatile, you can really make a mint just trading micros. And the risk is significantly reduced, 1/10 to be exact. Instead of $5 a tick on the NASDAQ, it would be 50 cents a tick on the NASDAQ. Okay, sorry about that. Muted myself. So this MES, which is trading two micros, is up $400. Oh my goodness. Incredible. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Rao. Good morning, Rodney. Unc, the Dukester is in the house. Good morning, Carol. Sam, I am. Good morning, Sam. We got a meeting today. Rao said today he was checking strategy with 40 contracts. Wow. On Sim, total profit was, oh my goodness, amazing. Very exciting, Rao. Thanks for sharing that with us. Cooper, good morning, sir. You mentioned, you absolutely can, Cooper. I think what you were referring to is our power play. I think. The other stream you mentioned, we have a back-tested strategy with a win rate of 75%. Why can't you just stick to that one strategy? That's a good question, Cooper. You absolutely could stick to that one strategy. Yes, MES is the micros. MES is the micros. To complete my thought on the micros, on the NASDAQ, on the mini, the NQ, it's $5 a tick. On the MNQ, the micro, it's 50 cents a tick. On the ES, it's $12.50 a tick. On the MES, it's $1.25 a tick per contract. Good morning, Agola. Thanks for joining us again. I was curious. I was thinking about you. I was wondering if you had passed that evaluation. You were so close. Oh, I hate being that close. Every morning, what we like to do is we like to take a look at the Forex Factory. It's very important as traders that we know the trading environment that we're going to be getting ourselves into here. We don't want to jump in head first and learn our lessons the hard way. So we had some big news reports this morning. Core CPI, 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 and unemployment claims. A bunch of red folders. Let's see what the news was. See what the CPI report said. Inflation eases. Ooh. Look at that. A rosy, rosy report. My goodness. Good news on top of good news. We've been looking at our 15, or I had it on a 60-minute. Now I reduced it to 15 minutes to give us the overall trading environment. And you could see when yesterday Trump decided to pause the tariffs, and instantly, this is a 15-minute bar, you could see in just 15 minutes, it was like trillions of dollars, and market cap came back to the Nasdaq. 15 minutes, popped all the way up yesterday. If we go back a little, we can see when those tariffs came in. Let's try to squeeze this. And that's about the time they were released, about April 2nd. So yesterday, we saw in the early afternoon a big pop to the upside. And now, ever since about, let's call it the market close yesterday to the overnight session, there's been a little bit of a retracement. And we're right at the 50. Flat. Flat. Pre-market's been flat. So that gives us a perspective of what we're looking at. This morning, the CPI report came out, a really nice rosy report. Very little change in the U.S. unemployment insurance claims. So a real rosy report. I'll tell you, the Fed's lowering those interest rates would really be a catalyst. It probably wouldn't be as big of a catalyst as we saw yesterday, but it would be a big one. All right, so we're going to get ready for our power play trade of the day. Yesterday was a learning experience with that volatility. I'm not going to jump headfirst onto a 30 range bar when the market is moving the way it was yesterday. Got myself in on a market that was very hard to manage on a 30 range. So we're going to see how it plays out. What I'm referring to, if today's your first day or you're not familiar with what this power play trade is, and I just got off a meeting with Mark and Sergio. Sergio has it automated. We're testing it today. He added in the global parameters, he added a little checkbox that when you check it off, this is going to be fully automated. We just need to test it, make sure it's working properly. And what it's going to automate is the 30 range will only go long when the 20 unit Renko is above the 50. The 30 range strategy will only go short when the 20 Unirenko is below the 50. So we're looking for a multi-time frame alignment of trend. Just like it's very popular, well, it's a very common methodology to look at the higher time frame to make sure we're not getting into a counter trend trade. We want to go in the direction of large institutional money. We see overall the environment is flat, even though my 20 Unirenko is way above the 20. So in a shorter time frame, it is a long setup, and we are day trading, taking very short hold positions. We're holding for a very short time. So this becomes a lot more relevant for the trades that we're taking. It's kind of on a micro scale. So what happens is at about 9:32, the 9:30, obviously the bell's going to ring. The market's going to open and things are going to go a little haywire. And we're going to wait for them to settle down like I did not do yesterday. I tried to get into a long, didn't get the fill, and all of a sudden things went haywire on me. And I caught two losers very quickly. And listen, that can happen in trading any time. Catch two losers in a row. So hopefully things will settle down and we'll be able to enable our trade copier. On our trade copier, we're copying the 30 range smart velocity drone. Here we go. Things are setting up to the downside now. Now we have our 20 Unirenko just broke through, and our 30 range. Another thing about yesterday, I wasn't expecting that signal B to pop us in long below the 50. So I did change that setting in my strategy. Let's go to that strategy, to velocity drone. Since we're just a few minutes, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a bunch of NASDAQ strategies and just disable them. And I'm going to enable these two. I want to get my morning trade. We're going to reserve resources here. Okay, so now I'm set up for this morning trade. Got a big move down. So the market's going to open in just a moment. Good morning, doctor. Yeah, Cooper, sure. It's not a back test. It's the strategy analyzer. Um, we don't really use that much. All the results that I have are forward testing on a live market. We do have a really cool tool that we coded that's similar to a back test, but a lot more accurate. All right, let's get ready. 9:30. We got 1 minute. The countdown is on. Good morning, Al. You are right, Carol. I was looking at that too. That Asian session on the ES8U is crushing it. But that's really the only session that's crushing it, is the Asian session. I'm referring to the ES on the 8 Unirenko. Here we go. Let's bring up our lagometer here. We're 22 seconds on the NASDAQ. We got to bring that way down. No bueno. 19. Let's see if it settles down. Now, the bots have a built-in safety mechanism. If we have over 2 seconds of lag, it will not fire off a trade. It's slowly coming down. 9 seconds. Come on down. 8 seconds. 6 seconds. 5 seconds. We're coming into our about 9:32. We should be under. Good to go. Okay, now boom. Now it's starting to fire off trades when it gets under 2 seconds. Now what we're looking for is a multi-time frame alignment of trend. We are aligned to the downside here. Let's turn it on. Let's see if we can catch a short. I'm going to turn it off. Hang on. Hold on. Oh, damn. I missed that one. Okay, let's let it settle down. This is like yesterday. Very volatile. Let's let it slow down. We're really tight to that 50. Let's let it find a direction. We don't want to get caught up in this whipsaw right now. This 30 range might be too short of a time frame to trade. Let's give it a few more minutes. Here we go to the upside. Let's try a long. Oh, no. Boy, it got me so fast, my head's spinning. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Okay, we're going to have to let it settle down. Oh, man, things just moving so fast. Come on down. Oh, man. Get up. Get up in my profit window. All right, all the way. All right, we went back to break even right there. Trying to catch another long. Here we're back in long. Go all the way. Go all the way. All the way. Darn. Okay, let's regroup. Let's try to catch another long here. Okay, we're back in long. Oop. This is fast. Oh man, this is too fast. Yeah, this is really fast. There's just so much whipsaw in this. There's not much we could do with it. Try and catch a short here. Hmm. Come on down. Come on down. All right, it's a little too risky. I'm going to hold up right here until things settle down. It's just too fast. It reminds me of yesterday. It's just untradeable at that speed. So let's pivot over. Let me enable some more strategies. I think I'm going to pivot to the ES. The 30 range is just untradeable right now. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. Let's try to slow down a bit. Extreme volatility. Our E-mini is lagging by just a few seconds. Hopefully that'll catch up. There we go. Beautiful. And let's make sure we have everything enabled. Let's get the Mac truck going. Everything's good now. The ES30 range is in a monster trade on the IBOT 20U. That was a hot strategy yesterday. Oof, man, that just took a full winner. Look at the ES going straight down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this tab. And I'm going to change my leader account. Right now, I'm going to put it in that Volkswagen. That's the ES. That one kicks in at 10 o'clock. Now, what I'm doing is I've noticed, let me talk my way through this. So if you're having the same problem, you could see how I'm going to resolve it. I noticed on my lagometer here, and if you're a member of ours and you don't have this, I'm going to share it in the Discord because I think it's really important that you have it. I get a lot of calls that say, "Hey, my system's not trading." The most common reason why it's not trading right now is the lag. We have a built-in safety mechanism where if you're getting more than 2 seconds of lag, your bots will not trade. If on your control center, if you go to your log, you'll get these messages. It says trade not executed due to excessive lag. That's a safety mechanism that we've coded in that will prevent you from taking a trade if you're not on the current price. So what I did was I went to my strategies on the NQ and I've disabled a lot of them that aren't currently in a trade. If it's in a trade, you don't want to disable it. You want to close the position. Well, it's coming down now. It's slowly coming down because I've disabled a number of them. And I want to get it back to where it looks just like these other two. in 8 nanoseconds. There we go. Now it's right where I want it to be. I know my sniper's been doing well. Let me enable that one. And I can pick and choose the ones because I know my bots and I know which ones perform the best. I'll put in my retirement plan. And I'll slowly re-enable them. I'll put in my velocity. And now my lag is I've brought it back to a manageable level to where the system will continue to trade. Okay. So what Carol was mentioning, it's funny she mentioned that. Let me disable these. I gotta freeze up. There we go. Let's get this back under control. Just an enormous amount of data. This is really unprecedented. The type of tariffs that were put on and the volatility that we're seeing. I mean, this is like to the extreme. This is like trading through, a jobs report the entire session. Let's slowly bring these back in. Once we get our lag under control, I don't want to talk too soon. Oh, now you can hear me? Okay, sorry about that. What I was talking about, I was talking about the lag. If you're having lag, or if you're a member of ours and you don't have this, um, I think we should post that in Discord today. One of our members, Suzanne, is very familiar with our software. Said that she starts her iBots at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. She lets things settle down for a half an hour. I'm trying to get them running now, and because of the way we're streaming the data from the stock market, it's lightning fast triggers, and it's looking for the imbalances between buyers and sellers. That was the last two, and okay, now we're back up. An ES20 range, Duke? Let's take a look at it. The ES30 range is doing well on the iBots. It reversing on us. Now it's headed back up. Let's take a look at our 15-minute chart. Really haven't gone anywhere. If anything, it's moved down since the open, but now it's retracing back. This is a 15-minute. The iBot NQ 1 minute is one of my best iBots. Okay, we're just about there with the lag where we want to be. Just as I said that. Just got a huge move up. All right, let's start over. Let's let things catch up. The one thing we could always do is if things get out of whack, you could see the 30 range on the NASDAQ is completely untradeable right now. It's a miracle I didn't get wiped out. So if things do get a little bit out of whack, there's always close everything, flatten everything. On your control panel, go to positions, right click and select flatten everything. That's going to automatically disable all of your strategies. And then what we could do is we could maybe, 4 or 5 at a time, we'll crank them back up. There's our ES, some ESs. Let's get some NQs back. At 10 o'clock, I was hoping to get in on an ES30 range. Let's see if the those error boxes, Cooper, our software has a safety mechanism in it where it's not going to let you execute a trade if price is already moved. It prevents you from getting into a trade when there's lag. We're in a time now where there's an extreme amount of volatility and volume. Here comes a nice entry, a bounce right off the 50 on the E-mini. Got ES8U, that's a perfect entry for that bot. ES30. Our iBots jumped in long. Big move to the upside. Got a first target. Minus 925 on the 24U. The ES30 range ABC 1-day pass scored again. The ES4U, iBot ES4U is doing well. Let's get these ESs back in the game. Our iBot 24U just took off short. You don't see whipsaw on a 20 Unorenco much, but look at that. It's happening. This 20 Unorenco candle is a monster candle, and it just got whipsawed right out of that trade. So it is a treacherous trading environment. Be very, very careful. This can blow your account quickly with no remorse. Let me see if I can get my 20 U's back running. Here we go. We're short gold. Gold is back up to 31.42. The ES4U is doing really well. Let's take a look. The ES4U is working its way up our leaderboard. Our ES30 range, and I always like to take a look at which bots are performing the best. So before I started this morning, where we are on the PA accounts for this week, as I look to see where we are this week. You can see I'm about 659. I'm up 659 across 3 accounts. So up very small. Yesterday we had a drawdown day. But our 30 range on the E-mini is, if I generate this, it was up 91.82 before we started today. Now it's up 53.45. If we go to the analysis of when it's doing well, it's doing the best right when those news reports come out at 8:30. Believe it or not, those economic news reports, really likes those. With the lightning out, with inflation being a lower number than anticipated, I really expected to see the market bounce. But listen, it's always, I always refer to what's his name on Seinfeld, George Costanza. Whatever you think, do the opposite. Our Sim VW is up 6,000 for the week. That's trading one contract on the E-mini. When does it do well? If we look at the analysis, that 10:30 window is when the good things start rolling. From 10:30 right through to 1:30, with the exception of that half hour it takes off for lunch. The NQ20 Sniper. This is the time the Sniper on the 20 Unorenco has been doing really well. Between 9 and 11:30. So let's keep an eye on the Sniper. And the iBot 24U is up 11,000 coming into today. The ES4U is slowly working its way up our leaderboard. It's in again short. Not getting much follow through to the downside anymore. Oh, got a first target. Here we go. Just as I say that. So the NQ 1 minute is our top NASDAQ strategy, believe it or not. Gold is out. Just not going to do it on the PA accounts today. Not yet. We're starting to find a direction, it appears. If we look at our 15-minute chart, very slowly, it's working its way back down, but it's throwing these big wicks. So it's not a it's not a straight line down, that's for sure. All right, what's our next NQ? The retirement plan. The retirement plan loves a volatile market. Let's see what the retirement plan is doing. Retirement plan is looking at a 2-minute data series. Here we go with the ES for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my trade copier on, but I'm going to take off my PA accounts. I just don't feel comfortable with it. So I'm going to remove my PAs. I'm going to lock her up, and I'm going to take her for a ride on this VW. So I've got the VW across my evals, and that strategy is going to kick in at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock is when the trading hours begin. Starting to get some traction now to the downside. Just having a lot of trouble, like everybody. If you're having trouble with lag or your chart's freezing up, you're not alone. Personally, I really think that Ninja limits the amount of data that you can possibly stream. And I think there's a limit to it that's getting exceeded. So the ES4U is up 1,700. We've watched that one work its way up our leaderboard. I'm tempted to jump in on that on my evals as well. Boom, the Volkswagen just got in. Let's pivot over to the Volkswagen. The Volkswagen looks at a 30 range. If we can break this area of support, we could take a nice ride to the downside here. Okay, we're in. So I've got this copied across my evals, this bot here. Come on down. Come on down. Nice one. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit here. Beautiful short trade there. Keep going. There you go. Keep going. Okay. I'll take that. Nice trade on the Volkswagen. It did come down. Sorry to hear that, David. These are rough conditions. ES4U's up 24.62. You know what happens, and what I refer to it as is the ebb and flow of the market. This one got into a counter trend, the ES4U. It picked up a shift, an imbalance of buyers over sellers, and jumped in long on that 4U, which is a really short time frame. So now all the risk came off that trade on that 4U. You saw the stop; it popped up automatically to take the risk off. Now let's see. Watch it catch the short roll. If it continues down, it'll pop in again short. Cooper, everybody has their own style. What we're doing here is we're showcasing the bots. If you wanted to trade just our top bot, you could certainly do it. That's what one of our members, Robert, has done. And over the course of the last 6 months, and Robert is a professional in this niche. He has bots probably from just about, I would say, a half a dozen vendors, I'm imagining. Um, and he runs the ES, and not only does he run, but he actually designed the ES30 range star bot and drone. And that bot is really the most consistent bot in his experience, which is extensive. He shows here a profit of $56,000 since September 19th. So over the course of 6 or 7 months, he's up about $56,000 on that account. So, excuse me, 61,000. $61,000. The max drawdown on it was 10,000. And he's got a beautiful equity curve, just trading one strategy. And you could certainly do that. That the Volkswagen's in long. The Volkswagen took a C entry. disregarding market structure. And it's trying to break through that 50 on a counter trend trade. I didn't read Carol's. Nice. I need to know how to install it. How to install, how can I change how many contracts is trading? The way you would do that, Carol, is you would first close any position that bot is in. Go to your positions. If the one that you want to edit is in a position, close it by right-clicking and select Close Position. That will instantly disable the strategy. If it's not in an open position, then you would first disable it. Once you've disabled it, you would right-click on it and select Edit Strategy. Right-click and select Edit Strategy. And then the parameters are going to open up, and you're going to scroll down to the Trade Management section. And here's where you can add contracts for your first profit target, for your second profit target. Under the Trade Management section is where you would add contracts. And we've hard-coded our own ATM directly into the strategies. It's really done very cleverly. We can go for very ambitious profit targets and still lock in a couple of legs as the trade matures. The way we do that is we have a break-even plus or minus. If the trade goes 40 ticks, we can go to break-even plus 20 and lock in some profits. We also have a Smart Stop 3, where if the threshold is 70 ticks, once the trade is plus 70, your stop will automatically attach to your 15 EMA. Your 15 EMA, so it's a momentum-based stop. And then we have what we call our profit window. Our profit window, there's a saying in trading, don't be we'll say a BIC. It's a crude word. Don't be a BIC over a tick. That's if you're 5 or 10 ticks from your profit target and you don't want to give it all back, with the profit target window, once you're within 10 ticks, if that's the input here, then your stop is going to push up to 10 ticks behind price. So you won't be risking any more than you have the potential to make. So if your profit target is 200 and you went 190, well, you don't want to go back to, all the way back and give it all back. So we have ways to manage these trades that it'll lock in profits on 2 different legs or 3 different legs of that 200 tick profit target. If your trade copier is not taking trades, Agola, what I would do first is I would look at your log. Are your other bots taking trades or just the one that's on the trade copier? Good point, Dukester. Cooper, sometimes the market conditions change and institutional money has rotated. They like to rotate their equity from one asset class to the next. So if you're playing the E-mini, but it just so happens that day gold is crushing it or the NASDAQ is crushing it, you want to be able to pivot to where institutional money is influencing that specific instrument. But for set it and forget it, Cooper, you make a good point. You have a good argument. He wants to set it and forget it. He wants to put it on the best, most consistent strategy and not have any muss or fuss. And that's definitely an option that is available with a couple of these strategies. The ES30 range specifically. Hey, good morning, Jim. Jim W. Where would you find that kind of info? I believe in the Masterclass Module 1, where I go over the three different triggers, A, B, and C. The retirement plan is a signal A, so it's really learning your triggers. The signal A trigger is looking at your RSI line in your oscillator, of your Laguerre oscillator. If the Laguerre oscillator, which is a really great assessment of momentum, is pinned to the 0% line all the way down, that means momentum is full, it's completely to the downside. That market is trending down. But what will happen is, let's scroll back. Let's start with this, where the RSI line is at the top. When the RSI line is at the top, momentum is headed up. When it breaks out of that green area through the 80% line, my white line, my RSI line breaks down through the 80% line, that would trigger a signal A short. That would signal a short trade. That's the trigger for a signal A. So it would have entered short, been in that position. Now when it breaks up through the 20% line, it fires off long. It's looking for reversals. So in a volatile market, when there's big swings up and down, that signal A entry does really well. So I think it's, to answer your question, Jim, it's just being familiar with each trigger. What causes the A trigger to execute a trade? What causes the B, the C? And once you familiarize yourself with that, I always refer to it as, the strategy has found the ebb and flow of the market. What it really is that particular trigger is working really well in this trading environment. Now that's a signal B. If the RSI line in my oscillator is pinned to the upside, it would trade a long trade. But what we're looking at here is the IBOT on a 1 minute. So the trade that got executed isn't looking at a 20 Unirenko at all. Now this chart here I changed to a 2 minute. So you could see I got a short entry here on my retirement plan. But still price came up and got me. But then it did reverse and go all the way down. It would have been a really nice winner, but market is really volatile right now. So this retirement plan would go long. Once the RSI line breaks through the 20% line, it would go long. Buenos Jorge. Good morning, my friend. I am working on getting you the M2K and the MYM. We're really not dogmatic about the instruments that we trade. I wanted to mention. We trade the ones that make money. If it makes money, it makes sense. We've tried to automate strategies on the M2K and the MYM, and we were unsuccessful. Or they would be in our portfolio. I assure you of that. So if I had one that was consistently profitable, I would share it with you and the whole community. Unfortunately, at this moment, I don't have one that's profitable on a consistent basis. We had the M2K and the YM in our portfolio. The YM, the one that I would recommend using, is the one that we're using for our one-day pass. And that's the one I was going to share with you today. We have a YM that runs the one-day pass on a 4 Unorenco. That's one of our best one-day pass templates. So I'm going to modify that template for you to trade the MYM. And I'm really going to use a lot of the similar settings of this one-day pass that the YM is trading. And I'm going to share that with you today, Jorge. Okay, market seems to have settled down now. Let's go back to a 30 range. Esto no funciona. Sigue perdiendo, tío. Not exactly sure what that means, Cooper. This doesn't function. I know when people start talking different languages, it's probably best I don't even know what they're saying. All right. The VW back in short. I bought ES4U. In 45 seconds. Getting some selling pressure here. Big selling pressure on the E-mini and the NASDAQ. You only control the systems. Guys, remember, it's not the system, it's the market. We don't control the market. Yes, Jorge. Wish we could control it. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? The IBOT 24U. is in short. See if we can get some follow through to the downside here. Volkswagen back in short. ES4U is short. 24U got a first target. Looking at our 15-minute chart, we're just throwing these huge wicks. It's making a slow move down, but it's not by any means a straight road down. It's extremely choppy and volatile. The VW got beat up today. It closed on our P&L target of 24.75. The ES Smart Stop 2, let's check out that one. That one seems to be doing better. ES30 range, ABC drone. Robert. Now this is the bot that Robert's been trading for the last 7 months and is up 61,000. That's the ES30 range drone. This one. Crude oil got in. Let's take a look at a crude trade. That's the first one I've seen in a long time. Crude is in there on the 1-day pass. Yesterday, crude was dropping like a rock. Looks like it's bouncing today. Now listen, coming up right behind me is Mr. David Wise, professional options trader. And he's going to be trading the SPY Super System. SPY Super System. How it looked for me, let's do a quick review personally. I was able to get on my evals, I did pretty well. Anywhere from 472 to 612 across 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. My PA accounts just about break even. $70, 60, and 60. Total of 190 on the PA accounts. So all green today after a bit of a down day yesterday. And if we go back to the PA accounts and bring it back to January 15th, trading on a live market. Look at crude oil up 660 on this trade. Yeah, this is a 1-day pass. It's trading 10 contracts, so it's $100 a tick. This is where we are, 23,973. Beautiful equity curve, 23,973. You can see if we break it down by the week, this week just a small profit. It's been a tough week. Hopefully tomorrow we can end the week on a positive note. But we've really stuck to our rules and our game plan. If we hit our loss limit, we stop. If we hit our profit target, we stop. We had a rules-based entry. It's that power play trade, and it's just a little too volatile to take advantage of that strategy today. This crude trade could go all the way on the one-day pass. We have templates that are exclusively to pass a prop trading evaluation. It's a very aggressive strategy. Be forewarned. If you do play the one-day pass template, you'll either pass or blow the account on one trade, potentially. I think with crude oil, we made it 2 trades, now that I'm thinking about it. So what we're watching here on the crude chart was a loss, a stop out on the crude oil one-day pass. All right, so let's take a look at the leaderboard. Let's see how we ended up for today. The best bots. My leaderboard is very slim. Not a great day to trade today. When you see a leaderboard like this and there's only 3 bots there, head for the hills. Do not trade. Our ES30 range one-day pass did extremely well. That's the prop trading template to pass evals. That can be modified to be more conservative. Instead of trading 10, you could certainly trade 1. Well, actually, what this is the 30 range star bot or drone that's time optimized, but it's trading 10 contracts. The ES30 range ABC star drone, which is really those one-day pass, these are both the same. The star drone, which is trading 1 contract, is up 2,100. The one-day pass, which is time optimized, the best half hour out of the day, took 2 trades with 10 contracts, up $6,375. My ES Smart Stop 2 was up just over $1,000. And then I showed you the Apex accounts. Retirement plan has his head above the water at $290. Good question, Ronald. I had mentioned earlier. So I was met with Sergio. He has it automated, and we're testing it today. If all tests out properly, it'll be released Friday. And he showed it to me this morning, and the way he did it was he added in the global parameters. Sergio's really, man, let me tell you something. He's so sharp. In the global parameters, he added the power play, and it's going to tie in the 50 EMA of your 2060 100 on a Unorenko bar on this chart here, this 20 Unorenko. It's going to calculate where the 50 is on the 30 range where the 50 is. They both have to be either above or below. And in the global parameters, if you have that enabled, it will follow the rules. So it is done, it's coded, and it's being tested today, Ronald. The biggest challenge, the biggest challenge of that, I'll tell you, and man, when Sergio told me he was able to do it, a million different things went through my mind because we've never been able to do it. Is when in the past, when we looked at Unorenko bars and we wanted to do a multi-time frame alignment, we would have to use it compared to a range. So this time now we kind of reversed it, reverse engineered it, which really opens the doors to all of our strategies that use Unorenko bars to do something very similar as far as a condition with a multi-time frame alignment of trend on any chart that has a Unorenko bar. This new global parameter could be a game changer. I'm really excited to see it and to trade it, not only on the one we've been doing, but on a number of other templates that we have that leverage Unorenko bars. Yes, it does eliminate the emotions, Jorge. Agreed. Man, you could see what a tricky market this is. You see my 15-minute, and now you got this up candle now. First hour of the market open, got to move down. What's surprising at 8:30 when that CPI report came out, there was no pop to the upside. Isn't that strange? No real reaction at 8:30. Maybe it's this wick that we see. Go back to 8:30 real quick. Yeah, we did take a pop up to the upside at that CPI report release. And it retraced right back down. Back up. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you would, please like my video here on YouTube. It gives us a little traction, get some new eyes on our products and services. It was a rugged day with the volatility, especially trading a 30 range on the NASDAQ. I almost, did it again today, but yesterday, we learned our lessons the hard way. And yesterday, I backed off today quick because it started, I realized very quickly that it was completely unmanageable. Luckily, I came out of it without too much damage, without any damage today. So I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Doctor. And remember, David Wise is coming up right behind me. Don't forget, please like my video. I'm going to, God willing, Friday we do our weekly recap. We'll go over what's hot, what's not. And at 1 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to have a webinar, kind of a deep dive into the functionality, the nuts and bolts of the system. And I'll put a link in the room tomorrow. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome. So big day tomorrow. It's Friday. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Duke. Thank you, Dr. Al. Mobile home. Does anyone know if Robert runs the ES30 Star drone around the clock? I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him. Hit or miss. He's in the chat. Mainly runs it during the day. There you have it. From the horse's mouth. Thank you, Robert. Okay, let's end on this push to the upside here. Let's see if we can get some follow through. Maybe this is the time of the day that the market reverses. And we say, hey, that first hour they gave us the head fake to the downside. Yesterday, my goodness, I don't think I've ever seen a move up like that in so short a time. 15 minutes. Uh, no follow through. Just that, let me tell you, this is not an easy market to trade. I can't remember since I started doing this that my leaderboard had 3 bots on it. What that's telling us is keep it in sim today. Unless things really change, the conditions change. All right, Jorge. See you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today. And thanks for your participation. I really appreciate it. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.